So if you're a part of my membership, you know that I was meant to go live on Friday. We had technical difficulties and I was meant to go live this morning. Same thing happened again. So I've decided I'm not going to like announce when I'm going live on my membership. I'm just going to go live one day. When I figure out why it's not working, I've updated so many things. I've downloaded certain programs and for some reason it's just not working. Anyway, welcome back to my channel, honey. Today we're doing part 2 of my top favorite reads of 2021. Now this video specifically is mainly based on the series or duets. So I'm talking books that were released this year that are a part of series, or books that I read that are a part of a series. I may have read the whole series, I may have only read one book from the series, but this is kind of like series based. Some of them you can read them as standalones, but I personally suggest you always read an entire series, because what I have found, even if it's a companion novel series, which companion novel series aren't my favorite, but what I have found is if you do read the whole series, you get to know the characters better and you get to see your favorite couples reappear continuously. So that's why I always suggest reading an entire series. I'm in a pretty strange place in my life. I've spoken about this kind of lightly on Instagram. I've really pulled back with being so active on social media, and I'm trying to put all my focus and energy into YouTube right now, because this is producing majority of my income at the moment, because I have decided to pull back on my full-time job a little bit for the time being, because I'm just not coping very well. So with that said, I would really appreciate if you subscribe. If you thumbs up and if you're very active on my videos, I would really appreciate it. I'm also in the middle of like sprucing up my channel a little bit, changing up my content, you know, brainstorming ideas. I'm so excited to do like non-fiction based videos because I've been reading a lot of non-fiction lately, more than romance, to be honest. And I can't wait to share my suggestions when I'm finished with a lot of them and once I figure out some ideas for content. Anyway, I'm done rambling, baby. Let's get into the best of 2021 part 2. These, I feel like some of these are literally my faves of all time. So we know that they're good if I've classified them as my faves of all time. So the first 2 books I want to talk about are these ones right here. We got Santi Diabole Part 1 and Santi Diabole Part 2. These are by Amo Jones, and these are the last installments of the Elite Kings Club, which she released this year. As you guys know, if you're a subscriber and you follow my content, I love Amo, and I absolutely love the Elite Kings Club, baby. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Very hit or miss with a lot of people. I find that some people read it because of me and they're like, oh my god, I'm obsessed. And then other people read it and they're like, not my favorite. And that's totally fine. And that's what's great about reading. Like, not everyone is going to have the same opinions. The books that I love reading and that are my favorites might not be yours, and that's the beauty of it. As of recently, I've got a couple of kind of nasty messages from people online coming across my book videos and getting intensely offended that I didn't enjoy their favorite books. I just think it's so interesting. Like, it's not that deep, baby. It's just fiction. Anyway, yes, Amo wrapped up the series this year. I believe that she needs to write Ruined Castles, which is another book for the series, but the timeline of the series stops here. If you've read the Elite Kings Club, you know that it is kind of like a companion novel series with a timeline and plot that overlaps. So I don't suggest you reading any of these out of order and you read the entire series. So the first 3 books are about Bishop and Madison, and then the 4th and 5th book are about Nate and Tilly. And then we've got these 2 here, which are about Saint and Brantley. I absolutely loved Saint and Brantley. To be honest, I think they're one of my favorite couples from the entire series. There's just something so delicate and fragile about Saint. And I loved Brantley because he was like an ultimate alpha, but he was also different as well. He was a lot darker. I really enjoyed their dynamic. Super spicy, tons of plot twists. I loved these 2 books. I loved them so much. I was lucky enough to get the arc of these. I am a part of Ammo's blogger team, so I tend to get a lot of her books before release. I read this before everyone else could, and I fell in love with them. I also loved this series because if you've read the Elite Kings Club, you know it's very paranormal-esque, fantasy-esque, and a lot of Santi Diabolo Part 1 and Part 2 had witchcraft in it. And we already know what I'm like when it comes to witchcraft. Like, I'm a baby witch, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in that shit. I don't have, unfortunately, the paperback for In Silence She Screams, which is this book up here. So this is the third installment of the Midnight Mayhem series from Ammo. Now, this series is based around a sex cult circus. It's very interesting, very dark, exactly what you expect from Ammo. So this is the third installment that was released not that long ago. Brilliant, absolutely loved it. This you can read as standalone, but I don't suggest you do because you might get a little bit confused by the characters. But if you read the first two books and then this one, you'll love it. This is a male-female relationship. Holy shit. This was fucking buck wild. This was buck wild, and it was something so different. And I loved the character development, man. I loved it. I loved the characters, just alpha. Even the main character, the female, Lilith. Oh, honey. She was out of this world, and I loved this book. I think some people were a little bit shocked with my last upload. They were like, hang on a minute. There's a lot of books that you ranted and raved about all year that weren't in this video. I was getting to it. Of course, I'm going to mention the Maid series by Danielle Laurie. Are you fucking kidding me? First off, we got the first one, Sweetest Oblivion, which I actually DNF'd. She wasn't my favorite, but these two. We've got The Maddest Obsession and The Darkest Temptation. Now, these two men, Jesus freaking Christ. If they were literally real, oh honey, me and my partner, we'd have to sort something out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I love him so much, but I'd just be like, I'm sorry. Like, I've got to go. I've got to go to Russia because these motherfuckers actually exist. So The Maddest Obsession is about a dirty fed that works in New York City with the Italian New York mafia, and he is Russian. And he ends up having a thing, like a little situation go down with the wife of the mob boss. Gianna, that's her name, isn't it? It was so long ago when I read this. Yeah, Gianna is, oh, she's a boss ass bitch. I loved this heroine so much, and I loved him so much. He was very reserved, like very alpha but reserved, and I just, oh, I could eat this motherfucker for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I mean? Even supper, bitch. I need a snack before I sleep. And then I read the third book, which is about Ronan, who is Christian's brother. And he is the head of the mob in Russia, specifically Moscow. And is it Moscow or Moscow? Okay, because every time I watch Bailey Sarian, right, I watched Bailey Sarian, and she did this was a while ago, but she did a fucking Mystery Murder Makeup Monday video about this serial killer in Russia, and she kept saying Moscow. Am I saying it wrong? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't pronounce anything correct. Most Australians don't pronounce anything correct, okay? We've kind of made up our own English. Is it Moscow or Moscow? I've always said Moscow. Who the fuck said, see, Moscow doesn't sound right. I don't know about you, but Bailey Sarian says Moscow. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, he's in Russia, and Ronan, holy shit, I fell in love with this man. I fell in love with this book. Mila, who is the heroine in this book, gave me the shits. Absolutely gave me the shits. She made some decisions that were really dumb. And yeah, it led her to Ronan and in a bit of a fucking pickle with him. So long story short, it's about this girl. Her father is in Russia for a couple of months, and he misses her 20th birthday, and she's pissed the fuck off. She's very naive to what her father does, which I find very hard to comprehend. I just think back to when I was younger, and I was so alert. Like, I knew what was going down, you know what I mean? So to be so like oblivious to her father, like what her father does, I don't understand how you can be like that. And especially because she had bodyguards. And it's like, why would you have bodyguards if you're like the average citizen? Anyway, she is pissed off because her father's been in Russia for 3 months, misses her birthday, and she's like, I'm coming to get you, bitch. So she sneaks away from her bodyguards, gets on a fucking plane from Miami, and goes all the way to Moscow by herself. She's like 20, and she's like by herself, bitch, and she just goes there. No clue. She has no idea about anything to do with Russia. Like, she can speak a little bit of Russian because her father's Russian, but they have literally separated Russia and her completely. Like, she knows nothing. She knows nothing about like her mother. She knows nothing about anything to do with their life in Russia. And she just goes there. Just see you later. She finds like a number and like an address in her father's office of these people that live in Moscow, and she just goes there. Like, what? I could never. I would need solid fucking evidence. I would need to know everything. I'm a bit of an anxious being with that shit. So I'd need maps, bitch. Give me contacts. Who are you? How are you related to my father? What the fuck's going on here? Where is my dad? Like, I'd need like a fucking file of information before I would make that decision to go there. She didn't. She just went there. Anyway, she bumps into Ronan and he like helps her. He like sets up a hotel room for her. I was swooning with Ronan from the get-go, and then it turned south real fucking quick, and shit got real fucked up. But then he made me swoon again, and I forgave him. But yes, this ruined me. It literally ruined me. I did like a whole Russian alpha male character video based off this book because I just was obsessed. And then I ended up reading that Russian book. That book by that Russian woman after I read this because I just got obsessed, which is what I do. I get fixated on things. I've got ADHD, baby. So I get fixated on things and I get obsessed. Anyway, all right, keeping on the Mafia train, this duet by Kay Webster and Nikki Ash. The first book is Hidden Truths, and then we got Stolen Lies. First off, I love the size of the books. I'm fucking sick of fat books. I love this shit. Give me this shit. This was just such a good read. It just captivated me instantly, and I read both these books within like 2 days, less than. And as I said, it was Mafia, but the one thing that I loved about it the most was it was set in Greece. You know me, I like reading books that are set in different places around the world. And also, Greece is like one of my #1 countries on my bucket list to go to. So I was just like living my best life. It's about this girl, she currently lives in Italy with her mother. She gets contacted by her brother, and her brother's like, hey, I gotta bring you to Greece, bitch. So she goes to Greece to see her father, and her father informs her that she has to marry this Greek mob dude because he's in debt with them, and she's being used as payment. I know, like, what the actual fuck? It wasn't a very original gateway into the plot, you know what I mean? Like, this kind of storyline gets used quite often, but it started off there and it evolved into something different, and there was just so much drama and so much shit happening, especially within the family, like the Greek mob family. Oh my god, it was full on. And I also loved this heroine because she just owned it. She didn't cower, and she wasn't like, oh my god, my dad sold me. No, she was like, well, you know what, this is my life now. Give me a mimosa. I'm gonna go sit at a resort and sunbathe. Like, yes, bitch, go sunbathe. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, why fight it? You know what I mean? Like, I just loved that she was like, okay, I'm marrying a mob boss. This is my life now. Okay, cool. And there was also like hilarious parts in this book, like especially when the hero fucking literally tortured and beat someone to death in front of her and cut off his foot and then bashed this guy with his own fucking foot. I was pissing myself laughing. The way it was written was hilarious. I just really, really enjoyed this. And I thought about it quite often after I read it, so yes. So last year I fell in love with the 𝐉𝐻 series by Fiona Cole, and this year she released Blame It on the Alcohol. So these are the 2 books in the series that are available. She's currently writing the 3rd. So the first one we have Blame It on the Champagne, the second we have Blame It on the Tequila. This one is like an arranged marriage, like businessy type of vibe. And this one is a rock star romance. So this is a companion novel series. In this series, there's a girl gang, and each book is about one of the girls in the girl gang. And that's something I love so much about this series, is the girl gang vibes. I love girl gangs. Like, books with really solid female friendships. The Filthy Rich American series by Nikki Sloan. I've got them all here. I loved this series. I loved this series so much. It was something so different, and it just captivated me, and I read them all in 1 week, which is wild, man. That doesn't happen often, but it happened with this series. And I also, again, this book size is brilliant. I love how Nikki can write a good series with a lot of depth, a lot of plot, good character development, and then it's under 300 pages. Like, I just love it. But yes, this is the first book, called The Initiation. It is a marriage of convenience, arranged marriage trope that's not set in the mafia world, which I fucking loved. They are elite though. It is filthy rich Americans. So we've got like bankers, people that own banks and companies, and they're very high up on the food chain financially. And this girl has to marry into this really pristine family that is just... The head honcho, like the father of this family, is a fuckwit. I love him, McAllister, but he's just like a nasty pasty, okay? And she has to kind of like adapt to this lifestyle. And yeah, I don't want to give anything away because this has so much shit that literally happens that blows your mind. You're like, oh my god, what? Like, I was on the edge of my seat reading this the entire time. Then we have 𝐉𝐻 by Liza James, and this is book 1 in the Pandora's Box series. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. There's also Hush after it, but I have not read that one yet, so we're just talking about 𝐉𝐻. This is one of my favorite female romances I've ever read. People may be surprised that Trist 6 Venom isn't going to be in this video. Or in any of my top favorites. I did enjoy that book, but it's definitely not my favorite, and I feel like 𝐉𝐻 is a more leveled up version of a female romance, and I just think Liza did an amazing job. So this girl who was raised in a cult, and she escapes the cult, and she is, you know, learning so much about herself, and she's learning about the real world, and kind of dismantling her beliefs and what she has been taught. And she ends up going to a strip club one night with her partner and her best friend, and she lays her eyes on one of the strippers, and there's instant chemistry and a connection, and they're just extremely sexually attracted to one another. This is pretty dark. Most of the books I read are pretty dark, but I loved this. Super fucking steamy for a lesbian romance. Hella attractive. I just loved these two so much. Then we also have Fated by Liza James. Now this is book 1 in one of her other series. I haven't read the second one, and I believe there's a third one to come out as well. This is a paranormal, and I was obsessed with this when I read it. I read this all in one sitting. Such a good read, very dark, but it's pretty much about fallen angels that now live here on Earth, and they have like their own like secret society. And this guy finds this girl one day, and she has been kidnapped. He saves her, and to heal her wounds, he has to bond with her. So that means when you like bond with someone, it's a blood bond, and you have to be with them. If you're ever away from them, you feel physically ill, you can feel their feelings, hear their thoughts, and you can read them. And when you bond with someone, you usually bond with someone that is your lover, like someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But he bonds to this girl because she's going to die otherwise, and then they're stuck being bonded. And she's super attracted to him, and because she's not a fallen angel, she's trying to figure out, like, oh my god, like, I just want to fuck you, like, I feel all these feelings, why am I jealous of you? And it's just this extreme emotion of like love and loyalty towards him, where he doesn't want to be bonded to her. so he hates every minute of it. Baby girl. Ah, baby girl, this was so good. I loved it. Super steamy as well. So we've got Black Sunshine and Love is the Blood by 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐿. Oh my god. This is a vampire romance. I read both these books back to back. The third book is coming out this month, or is it next month? I don't know. It's either the end of this month or next month, and it's about another couple that you meet in these two books. But as I said, it's a vampire romance, and it's about this girl who gets kidnapped by this vampire, and then she ends up discovering all this stuff about herself, and she learns that like vampires are real. It's set in San Francisco, and they actually live in Charles Manson's house. Oh, it's so dope. It's dope as fuck. You meet Dracula in this book. This vampire motherfucker was so steamy, and I just fell in love with him so much. And there was a lot of things in this book that I was kind of like shocked about, especially with the smutty scenes. I was like, am I attracted to this? I think I am. Absolutely loved the Nordic royal series from this same author. So you've got like the Nordic king, the Swedish prince, and the royal something. I can't remember. Oh my god, bitch. This was everything. I've spoken about these books already, but the Swedish prince, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So fucking funny. And the Nordic king, oh bitch, that was like everything and more. These are just fun reads. Just super fun, drama, steamy. I always end up laughing so hard. I have a feeling Karina, I don't know if she is Scandinavian or something, but I feel like every book I've read from her, it's always like a Scandinavian character, or it's set in that part of Europe. I don't know, maybe she is, I'm not sure. But yeah, so good, especially the Nordic king, because the main character is Australian and it's a nanny trope. So she is a nanny in Europe, this Australian girl, and she ends up getting this job. And she doesn't know it's for a royal family. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so that is it for my favorite series that I read this year. Let me know in the comments below your favorite of the year. I want to know. There's a couple of series that I really wanted to read this year, but I didn't get around to. My next video will be your top favorite standalones of 2021. I asked on Instagram for you guys to pick one of your favorites of the year, like your top pick of the year. So I will be going through all your answers in my next video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before leaving. Also thumbs up, merch, social media links are down below, and also join my book club if you want to become a member. Okay, it's right near the subscribe button. You just have to click join. Alright, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.